Wyatt here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick update on my experience with the Lenovo Legion 9i for 2025. So let's start off with a look and a listen to the brand new 18-inch UHD 16x10 240Hz 100% DCI P3 display that this thing sports, as well as its louder and more dynamic speaker system, since this is a much larger chassis than the previous two generations. This is a 4K 60p HDR sample, by the way. So I'm going to stop it there, and what I can tell you so far is that this high-gloss display is excellent. So despite the fact that it's not the brightest display on the market, and the mini LED on the previous generation was literally one of the best displays I have ever enjoyed using on a machine of any kind, this display is no slouch. Would I have liked to have seen it be an OLED or at least a mini LED? Absolutely, but this IPS panel can hang, there's no question. Granted, I haven't gotten deep into gaming with it yet, but I'm expecting excellent performance there as well. Let's take another look and a listen here to another sample. So I'm going to stop it, and again, I think this gives everyone a solid idea of what HDR performance is like. Of course, outside of the gaming realm, I would never leave HDR on in general, but I still wanted to show the chops of this machine's brand new display. This is the same one, I believe, that you'll find in Razer's 18-inch offering. For anyone trying to figure that out, now you know. So again, I think the display is perfectly fine. And overall, again, I'm just really impressed with the performance of this device. Let me go ahead and minimize that. And by the way, I have brightness here at around 50%. So just for, best reproduction on my Sony FX3 here. So the other beautiful thing about this machine, a quick roundup of the internals as I give you the balance of my thoughts initially of what this machine is best at and who it's for, is that we do have a 2 terabyte Gen 5 NVMe basically driving your entire experience, and you can feel it. At least I can. I'm accustomed to Gen 5 drives in laptops and desktops, but this thing just screams, and you will not need to upgrade the drive. However, you have 3 more NVMe slots if you want to expand storage. So just amazing. You can populate every one of them with 8 terabytes of NVMe goodness. Just totally insane. Now, this build has an Intel Ultra 9 275HX, so top of the line CPU. It is fantastic. You won't hit any walls with that. I've seen no issues here so far. We have a 99 watt hour battery. I'm looking at a little over 2 hours off of the power, but you're never going to be using this off of power. It's all about using this with its GPU enabled, in this case the 5080, which I think is the sweet spot. You could get this with a 5090 for over $5,000. I would stick with the 5080, believe it or not, even though it only has 16 as opposed to the 24 gigs of VRAM, which is what everything's about these days. this is a stunner. Now, whether or not you want to go with this or something like the Legion Pro 7i with the 5080 and OLED, that's another video for another day. And really, that's all about weight class, isn't it? Not how premium or anything else a machine can be, because if you can't carry 10 pounds worth of gear, this isn't the right machine for you. Of course, I'm including the new 400-watt power brick that is included with this. So moving away from the display and speakers, which I think are good, and you can opt to get this with a 3D glass-free experience. That's not for me, but here's to hoping that they do end up giving us another display option down the road. But this one is absolutely, I think, good enough, especially for color proofing, and it does get bright enough. The high gloss, not my favorite, but I know why it's there. Let's talk about the RAM on the machine. This model that they sent me has 64 gigs. You can go up to 192. The base model that's about 3,700 and change is pre-configured with 32 gigs of RAM. That is now the vast majority of configurations on Steam, and I think it should be the new standard. 16 gigs has run its course, and there are enough reasons these days now to justify 32 gigs. I have a 64 gig build right now on my brand new desktop that I put together several months ago. Check that video out if you're interested in desktop computing as well. But you know, do I think you need 64? No. Do I think it's beneficial if this is a true workstation replacement? Absolutely. Let's talk about gaming, because I know everyone's wondering. I haven't done much with this yet. I've installed at least my current favorite titles, like, you know, Helldivers 2. Check out the gaming channel, by the way. Madden 26. I've got Mafia on here. War of Rights I just started playing, which is fun. And you can see we're not going to have any problem gaming on this machine. 21,853 in Time Spy. I've done nothing special here to tweak this machine at all, just stock performance. And that's a really good score. That is desktop class performance. I mean, the previous gen that I have right here, the 9i with the 4090 and 14th gen Intel chip, you're looking at 2,000 to 3,000. It might be a 19,000 Time Spy score, so still really good. And this was a breakthrough offering, because this was the first time I saw legitimate desktop performance in a 5.5 pound package. Now here we've moved up to 7 3/4, as I said, nearly 10 with the power brick, but you are getting more. There's no question about it. The 5090, of course, would only get higher, and if you really tweak this, you definitely can pump this score up because of the liquid cooling. The cooling system has been revised here after, you know, the liquid cooling issues last gen, and I haven't had enough time to see how it performs, but so far, everything seems to be great. It does get a little bit loud at the current curve, but I do have it on performance. But with a score like this, you know, you are looking at 4080, nearly 4090-ish performance without any tweaking. So really impressive stock, just ability. And again, I've mentioned the games. I'll be benchmarking this. Also, the killer Wi-Fi 7 on here and the Bluetooth 5.4 seems very, very good. I'll just give you a quick speed test so everyone can see what that's like. I do have a Wi-Fi 7 mesh system going here. I'm in the same room with the router itself. So I've been getting pretty much symmetrical, a little over a gig up and down. And that's what we're going to see here pretty much, give or take 100 megabits per second. And yeah, about that. The last thing I want to talk about is the battery life, keyboard and everything. The keyboard's excellent. Per key RGB, customized to your heart's content. You've got 6 different profiles, as you can see there, that you can customize. Some are preset, but they fixed the trackpad issue. I say that because it's not haptic like some of you may like or desire, but look at the previous generation and you will quickly see why I say they fixed it. Now, this is a nearly perfect machine for me in many ways. This is one it's not. I mean, this is just the tiniest thing on earth when you compare it to this guy. Put them side by side and you quickly see it's just like half, not even half the size of the new trackpad. So kudos to resolving this problem. Lenovo, listen to customers. Granted, I would love to see a 16-inch revision that follows this design language and incorporates all of the ergonomics we see here. But some of the stuff we lost, and this is not a full comparison, is the ports at the back. I absolutely love this design. I love the footprint, how light this machine is. This one in the complete opposite direction, and maybe it's because, you know, Lenovo feels that the 7i now really does replace this machine. I hope that's not the case, even though it is a phenomenal laptop. I'll be comparing that to this as well. You can see great performance there. The 99 watt-hour battery, again, a little over 2 hours of regular performance without me trying to squeeze maybe 3 to 4 hours, which might be possible. But remember, it's the biggest battery you can stick into a laptop that, air travel permits legally. So if you're wondering why they can't just stick a bigger battery in here, now you know. Beyond that, I've given you a lot to think about here. I love that we've got an IR-capable 5-megapixel webcam. It seems pretty good. You'll see more of that as I go through my coverage. And then other things to know beyond the internals, those 4 NVMe slots, the RAM being upgradable, as I mentioned, to 192 gigs. You've got, pretty much everything. The GPU is getting 175 watts, so you're getting all the performance you could desire. You've got the glowing Legion logo. The redesign here put Lenovo here instead of giving you, ports with the layout. If this is like the 7, the Pro 7i, where thermals got much better at the cost of moving the I/O, it's going to be worth it. And I didn't think I'd be saying that, but the experience with the Legion Pro 7i does dictate that. So we've got a USB port right there. Let me go ahead and get the previous Gen 9i out of the way. But we've got because I don't want to lose focus here. Actually, I might zoom in a bit, give you a little bit more. So you can see now we've got a Type A port here. Then we've got our Ethernet port. Then we have 2 Thunderbolt 5 ports. Love that they incorporated those into the machine. It's a must-have on a premium machine like this. Headphone, microphone combo jack. Nothing else on this side. Flip it around. We've got the lip for that hulking lid that has literally no flex. It's built very, very well. Come around to the right side. We've got our privacy switch for that 5-megapixel webcam. We have another Type-C port. This is not a Thunderbolt 5 port. UHS to full-size SD card slot. Love it. Keep it up, Lenovo. Then we have another Type-A USB port and another light bar around the front of the machine. I could do without that. And then on the rear, again, we have our HDMI and power port for that 400-watt supply. Now, you can drive this with a 140-watt power brick like the previous generation. I have tried that. I haven't tested it with gaming, but I will. You'll know the difference. If you want to travel light with this, you could, although you'll never truly be traveling light. That made a lot more sense with this model, which is why I think they included the power delivery 3.1 140-watt brick. Here we don't have it, but I like what they've done here. You can see the raw carbon fiber lid on this one seems to, at least under my lighting, have a little bit more of a blue hue. Here it's more of a darker, more black. I like them both. I think they're unique. There's nothing else like them on the market, top to bottom, internals, externals, the whole package. If you are a gamer, content creator, or just a video editor, renderer, architect, this is going to be a dream machine for you if you can stomach the weight so far. And I'll have gaming numbers for you soon, but I'm expecting very similar performance to what I'm already getting out of the 5080 in the Pro 7i when I connect it to an external monitor. But granted, we should get a little more juice out of this because the cooling system is supposed to be more dynamic. But that's it. Initial update on the Legion Pro 7i. I think it is a phenomenal workstation replacement, and especially when it comes to video editing, we've hit a point, unlike with gaming, where per watt performance is real, and you can nearly get desktop performance out of these machines just because, the optimization in video editing software is nowhere near the lack of efficiency we get out of gaming, where you literally have to throw twice as much power at something to get performance. But that's a video for another time. Overall, really like this thing. This was supposed to be a quick update, but this is a very big update for Lenovo, and I just hope that they give us a similar refresh, as I stated, for the smaller, lighter 5.5-ish pound Legion 9i from the last 2 gens. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them at that like button, and as usual, please feel free to subscribe, and please stay safe. Later.